You are listening to the Irvin B. Griffin Jr. podcast here on Spreaker.com. Hey, this is Irvin B. Griffin, and welcome to another edition of my podcast. I decided to go a little less serious on this one and talk about something fun after I had a real heavy subject, a real heavy subject earlier today in the Alton Sterling shooting down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a little less but still serious subject about the myths and facts about swing swap, which I may make a continuation on that. I decided to talk about this TNA final Deletion match with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Now, I have been loosely watching this angle for the last few weeks. This whole Matt and Jeff Hardy angle, it's Batman and Robin level bad. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Batman, Robin level bad, I mean, it is so bad, it is still entertaining to watch. This angle has got to be the most attention, positive or negative, that TNA has gotten in a long time. From the whole thing of Matt Hardy acting like a cheap B-rated Flash Gordon villain. Of course, Jeff is Jeff. You know, Matt doing all these different accents, the British accent, the Mexican accent. I mean, he's just out there and calling Jeff Hardy Brother Nero, which I think that's actually Jeff Hardy's middle name. Jeff Nero Hardy. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's his full name. But he keeps calling him Brother Nero. I mean, and Jeff Hardy is basically done put him through tables, done put him through ladders, done decimate him at least 2 or 3 times that I know of in TNA. And Matt just won't go away. So finally he challenged him to what he called a final deletion match. Now, the match itself was not that bad. I've seen better, but I've seen worse. But all the show, but like having the drone plane break into Jeff's house and shoot up like Brother Nero, like some fake, like I was watching a bad episode of Star Wars or something. You know, I was like, what the hell? What is this? And, I mean, it was just so incredulous to me. I mean, I found myself laughing. Because, I mean, it was so cheesy and so horrible. But it was still amusing to me. I mean, this wasn't Fantastic Four 2015 level bad. Now, that level bad, I just want to throw my shoe through the TV screen. This was the level bad that that I know it sucks, and I know this is bullshit, excuse my language, but I mean pointing at it and still laughing. It was entertaining in that way. It was Batman and Robin level bad. I mean, it was awesome in that sense, but it did what people needed, what TNA wanted. It got people talking about their product and looking there. I mean, you had, as for the match itself, you had the typical, you know, swan time through the, he did his off top of a freaking tree. Then you had him come out all of a sudden as Willow, trying to take down Matt. Then he tricks Matt into thinking he won the match, but he actually had his helper from earlier in the night disguised as a Willow, where Jeff took him out. Then when he was about to give him the final swan time off of this cross, it looked like the Hardy symbol. Matt sets it on fire and causes Jeff to fall, and then he takes the win. I mean, this thing was all, they were shooting fireworks at each other like they were guns. Jeff Hardy is trying to shoot himself from it, holding up some tin can lid like he's Captain America. Oh, I gotta admit, this is the most entertained I've been on a TNA anything. Match, segment, whatever. This is the most entertained I've been by them in months, if not years. I mean, this is a horrible, horrible segment, but I would still recommend you, if you have not seen it, go and see it. I would still recommend seeing it just because you got to see how entertainingly bad this thing is. Oh, shit. I mean, it's B or C level late night sci-fi channel movie bad. But it's one of those, movies that it's horrible, but it's still entertaining. Kind of like the Incredible Hulk films they made in the 80s. I look back on them things now and then compare them to the original classic Kenneth Johnson series. Those movies were so cheesy and so terrible. I mean, when I look at it, but they're still entertaining to me. The only one that was even halfway felt like the old series was the final one. Well, it wasn't supposed to be the final one, but Bill Bixby got sick with cancer and he died a couple years after being diagnosed. The death of the Incredible Hulk was the only one that even halfway felt like the series. But the first two, Trial of the Incredible Hulk, which was the first live-action appearance that I know of Thor, and it was actually the first live-action appearance of Daredevil, the Fallen movie called Trial of the Incredible Hulk, and of course the one with Thor was actually Incredible Hulk Returns, excuse me. Those two were just, it was so, when you look back on them now, especially when you look at the way Marvel makes their characters, gotten control of most of their characters and make them now, these movies look terrible, but they're still entertainingly bad. Bill Bixby is still David Banner. He's still brilliant as Banner. And Lou Ferrigno is still awesome as the Hulk, but that's really it. Otherwise, these films are cheesy as hell, but they're still entertainingly bad. Or another comparison, the Fantastic Four. Not that BS last year, 2015, when they try to make them all dark and gritty. I'm talking about the Corman version from 1994 that is on YouTube, by the way, or the two films from the 2000s, 2003 or something, 2004 and 2007, respectively. Those films. They were still, they weren't great movies, but they had heart and were still entertaining and they were funny. Certainly better than that fan-forced garbage we saw last year. That's what I compare this final deletion match to. It's so bad, it is still good. I would encourage everybody to find this on YouTube, or if TNA has it up on their channel, find it, watch it. I just thought I'd talk about something lighthearted after all the serious subjects I've had on today. Anyway, you can download this here on my Spreaker channel, the Irvin V. Griffin Jr. podcast. You could also go to Twitter under my handle, Griff Phoenix, and you could go to YouTube, Irvin Griffin, a.k.a. Mr. Griffin. Anyway, I'm out. I'm Irvin V. Griffin Jr. You have a nice day, folks. Go watch that match and have a good laugh. Brother Nero.